Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Just making sure.
Hello and welcome to Gamersledge Podcast. My name is Mark. Come on in, sit down, relax, join us, and have any beverage of your choice because I don't even have a beverage. That's how ill-prepared I was for tonight. We have a lot to talk about. I've been gone for almost a month. In fact, happy 20th anniversary to Gamersledge. I'm old. That happened while I was gone, much to my chagrin, so that's a milestone. And joining us on this auspicious panel tonight, starting below me, since you guys see them vertical, even though they're to the right on my screen.
Below me.
I did say below me.
Whoa, what'd you say?
So it's appropriate that we start with Dave.
Hello.
Hi, Dave.
Hi.
And under him in the next Hollywood Square is Matt.
Howdy.
You might want to tilt your camera down just a little, Matt. Well, that was a little far. All right. I'm getting sick. All right, there we go. And last but not least, joining us from the great, great white north, it's Kate.
Oh.
Hi. So how's it been without me for a month, guys? I know you missed me terribly.
Oh,
yeah,
no, I missed
yeah, I know. That's exactly it.
I mean, I missed the intro music because when I heard that, actually, I kind of missed that. I was really grooving to that. I really appreciate that. But the not having the pun at the end, gotta admit, that was kind of nice.
That's Dave's TLDR. No puns. Well, let's go around the room and talk about what we've been doing for the last week for most of you, but then the last 3 weeks for me. So let's start with Kate, because she loves it when I call on her first.
I actually really, really hate it.
To be clear, that was a sarcastic comment.
So, I haven't really been playing much. For the past couple days, I've been playing a lot of Final Fantasy XII, though, because I wanted to kind of make some big progress in it, because I've been kind of stalled in just sort of leveling up and doing hunts here and there, so I leveled up a whole bunch. I still at like the late 70s, early 80s for levels, so I have a little ways to go before I'm at max level, but I did all of the hunts that are available to me now. I think I only have like Izamat and like maybe a couple of those like super high level ones left, and I'm pushing along in the story now, so once we're off of here, I'll probably try and get further in that so I can start Final Fantasy IX. I didn't want to start it while I still had another Final Fantasy to go.
I salute your dedication.
And I also still have to play the Assassin's Creed Final Fantasy 15 thing. I haven't touched that yet.
There's something else?
The end of the month, right?
What?
That's till the end of the month. That's September 30th is the cutoff for that, I think.
I guess so, so I better get... Maybe I should play that before I finish Final Fantasy 12. I didn't know what the cutoff date was.
And we'll discuss something else Final Fantasy related that you may want to touch soon. So we'll get there. Dave, how about you? I caught him committing a cardinal podcast sentence. Matt, how about you?
It's actually been fairly light content wise. I was just trying to come up with what it was. Played a little Rock Band 4.
Your dedication to that game is like my dedication to Dead or Alive Extreme 3.
And when I say a little,
why am I still playing this game and yet you're still playing this game? Because I also played that a bunch this week too.
See, but I'm even worse because I looked at the DLC this week and was like, oh, there's 2 songs I actually want. And I don't play the game at all. And so I just keep buying the DLC. So I think I've got a problem.
Yes, you do. So we're up to platinum now. So there's 2 more ranks. We're in week 4 of 8. So
am I still in the group?
Into 5. No. I could put you back in though. I cleared you out to make room for people to join because people kept on requesting to join.
Don't let him back in.
And then right after that, nobody requested to join anymore. So of course, So I actually re-downloaded because I never got further than chapter 1. And with all of the way, with all of the podcasts of late, have constantly been bringing up Spec Ops: The Line, because the writer for Spec Ops: The Line is the same as the writer for the single player for Battlefront 2. So I finally just went back, fired up the PS3, re-downloaded Spec Ops: The Line, and I started through that. I'm in chapter 6 now. So seems like it's a pretty quick playthrough, so I'll go ahead and finish that. It is very different for a single player shooter campaign, so we'll keep going through that.
I really liked what I played of it.
Yeah, it's really good. It controls well, although it's weird going back to R1 and L1 for shoot and aim instead of R2 and L2. Wait a minute, this is hard to do now. But I was a little worried the DS3 would be a little hard to go back to, but actually it didn't take too much to get readjusted to that, as it's not cataclysmically different. Although I do keep going for the touchpad instead of hitting select, because I see a square or rectangle come up on the screen and I reach for the touchpad. It's like, oh no, that's not touchpad, it's select. Let's see what else. That's pretty much it game wise. The other thing is we dug into dadgummit, the heck's it called? Legends of Tomorrow pretty hard. Probably about 2/3 of the way through the last season on that one. And then I finally finished 13 Reasons Why, because my oldest had watched it. I had stopped on episode 4 because I had a couple of fundamental disagreements with how the show was done. It wasn't a hate or anything. It was just the main one being I hate 25-year-olds playing 15-year-olds. It drives me nuts. I live with teenagers. I'm surrounded by teenagers. Those do not look like teenagers, and it drives me nuts. But there was another element of the show which eventually later they work it into. Okay, yeah, I can buy that for a fictional based semi-realistic show. Okay, I can buy that eventually. Yeah, back half of that show is brutal. Holy cow! I don't know if any of you have watched. Yeah, Dave, you've watched it, haven't you?
I did, yeah.
Yeah, the back half of that show is brutal.
Yeah, I remember there was a lot of before I watched it, there was getting a lot of controversy, and people were saying it glorifies suicide. It glorifies suicide. I'm convinced the people that said that never watched that show.
Yeah, they never made it to the back half of the show.
No, there was nothing glorified in that whatsoever. It was awful.
See, I just read the synopsis because I determined that I would never watch it because that is not something that I would watch. But I read each of the tapes and the scenarios that played up to it, and that is not. Yeah, that's really dark stuff.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And the second major incident was done creepily well and horrible and terrifying. But yeah, I mean, it's done well in the fact that, I don't scream much and I don't cry at things, and I was having the feels. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's particularly brutal, especially and me being a newer dad, and remembering just what stuff was like when I was in high school. I'm petrified about by the time he gets to high school. I hope there's a backlash and there's not as much social media and stuff, by the time he gets there, and they have I know that's not going to happen. But it's
Or
God.
there won't be electricity because we've had a nuclear war with North Korea.
I was actually
you can have a whole nother set of worries that are completely different.
here,
Thanks,
and
thanks for the pep talk.
I'll add on to that pile because I was actually just reading a report today that talked about the kids that were born between 1990 and now, and it's showing that they're all not doing any of the things that we all did when we were kids. Like they're not doing drugs, they're not fornicating, they're not doing anything because they're just on their iDevices all day long.
Well, you know the whole meme joke that millennials are killing X business.
Yeah.
Now it's the condom business.
Right.
Trojans like in dire straits right now.
Yeah, they're also killing Toys R Us. That's not in the news feed, but that's horrible. Toys R Us could be going away after this holiday season.
Yeah.
Well,
File bankruptcy. Just gotta wait and see how.
It's not just because of iDevices. Well,
It's
no. Like
yeah.
kids play with tablets, yes, but also people buy from. You don't need like the big conglomerate store anymore. If you want to buy something, you just buy it on the internet from the smaller businesses.
Yeah. Well, and they said that
I haven't
wasn't
I haven't bought anything in Toys R Us for a long time. True, I don't have children, and thus the toy level that I am buying at is much, much higher, so you can't buy that stuff at Toys R Us. But
yeah,
like, Dave, do you still buy Lego at Toys R Us, or do you just buy it from the Lego store?
No, I was actually going to mention, like a friend of mine posted on Facebook saying that, kids don't play with Legos and this anymore, that's why Toys R Us is closing. I was like, no, actually, to be honest, I said, nobody buys Lego at Toys R Us because they actually charge a lot more for Lego than everywhere else, and Lego's really expensive.
So you might as well get the savings where you can.
Exactly. So Toys R Us literally would jack up prices of sets by like $5, $10 a set.
They've stopped that in the last few years.
Well, there's this thing.
The last time I went there, like the new sets were still like that.
As someone who currently works in retail and has to answer this question all the time, one of the reasons that, and it's the same reason that books are more expensive in the store than when you get them online, or if you go to a gas station to buy food as opposed to a grocery store, you're paying for the convenience. If you want that thing right then, you're paying to get it right then at a premium as opposed to waiting a week to get it shipped.
That I get, but if you go to Target, Walmart, or even a Lego brand store, you're paying the regular price.
You're paying less.
So it's hard to make that argument.
Toys R Us generally do have a ton better selection than any of those, though. So if you're looking,
possibly. I haven't been to one. I mean, because actually, it's closer for me to go to a real Lego store. Plus, I do a lot of my shopping just online. So, but I am totally the reason these places are closing.
Is when I started collecting dolls, I, like most people, collected Barbie, and you can still buy Barbie at Toys R Us.
Yeah.
But like when I was collecting Barbie, it's like Mattel is like, oh, we gotta prop Toys R Us up for bankruptcy because they sell all our stuff. You couldn't get anything. Like their selection was trash. So it's like, why would I go there? I'll just buy it from Mattel Direct or from, wherever.
Yeah, I remember in a previous life, I was with somebody that collected Barbie, and I used to try and get special ones, and I could never get anything at Toys R Us. I had to do everything online because every time I went there, all the special ones were gone. So
or they never got them in the first place.
That's also true. A lot of times,
probably like same with like whatever Hasbro brands or other Mattel things, or even Lego probably, where they just wouldn't get the good ones.
Yeah, a lot of times at retail, people use them and they get an inside track, or somebody knows there. So like all the good stuff never even makes it to the shelves. It makes it to a dealer, that sells it, on eBay or something like that.
Or it's guys like me that used to hunt down whenever they put new boxes out to buy the Chase product that comes with it, because that's literally what I did for 5 years. Every time I'd go to a toy store, oh, do you have any boxes in the back? Can you bring them out? Oh, look, there's the 2 Chase figures. Time to buy them.
Exactly.
But yeah, they're not like for us or a lot of people who buy toys now. they're not going to be selling stuff like Hot Toys or Sideshow or like Play Arts or these higher end things because it's
Thank God.
Yeah, it's a store. The only thing I ever really bought there in the last decade were Schleich animals, but you can also get those on Amazon, and I can get them at work. So
the what?
They're like little It's a German company, but they make little animal figures that are like really, really well done. You can usually get them at like educational stores, but I think you can get them at Amazon.
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about. We have a little educational store right around the corner. Yeah.
The only thing I bought in Toys R Us in the last several years was Disney Infinity, Skylanders. In fact, we still go to Toys R Us for Skylanders because they always get the rare ones. And the Muppet actual puppets, if you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Oh, actually, there's one thing, and I hope this doesn't affect it. Toys R Us does a Lego promotion every year called Bricktober. Have you ever heard of this?
Mm-hmm.
And a couple years ago, they were actually cool. They had mini modular sets. They were like, mini, version, like micro versions of like their Lego modular sets. They were actually really cool. And they had like 4 sets, and you would put together like the cityscape of them. Last year, they did this really lame promotion where they were just like minifigure sets. They were horrible. There was like nothing worth even going for. But this year, one of them is going to be a Batman, the Lego Batman movie minifigure set, which is going to be all brand new stuff that was never released anywhere else. So I'm really hoping this doesn't affect that, because I need that.
Just touching on the Lego Batman thing for a minute, like we get, obviously Lego Batman movie was kind of a big deal, so there's like all kinds of like, leveled reader books and stuff for, young kids, like picture books and things like that. If I was a little kid, I would totally be terrified of the Joker in that movie. I was like, why is he so scary looking? Like, obviously to an adult he's not scary, but he's got like fangs and it's like...
Did you see it? Did you watch the movie, though?
I didn't see it, but just, like, the pictures in the books, it's like, why is he so scary looking? If I was 4 years old, I'd be terrified.
The pictures are much more scary than he actually is in the movie. He's actually a lot more funny in the movie, and actually kind of sad, because he's very, very needy emotionally in the movie.
It's very clingy.
It's actually... It's really hilarious. It is such a well-done movie.
But yeah, the fangs was kind of a
Facebook stalker ex-boyfriend.
It's a whole different thing, but it's hilarious. And like the opening scene where they kind of establish the relationship, it is extremely well done, and it's way better than it deserves to be.
Matt, did you just take a drink from a bucket of popcorn?
No.
My delicious butter drink.
It is
that's what I'm like.
It is a giant, large drink from a movie theater chain. Yes, that crappy movie.
That looks like a small popcorn bucket to me.
Well, we have used them as popcorn buckets at the house. Like, make a giant bowl of popcorn, and everybody takes a cup and scoops it up and takes it and eats it.
But right now, it's not liquid popcorn.
Right now, it is water.
but the fact that you have used it as such, I rest my case.
So, to finish up the Toys R Us thing, like, Matt, your kids are probably too old for Toys R Us now, right? They want...
For the most part, yeah. We'll go there sometimes because they've got a better... Again, it's that do you need it now thing, right? They've got better Lego selection, better video game selection, better selections of certain things. So if we need something right now...
Dave is the one out of us whose child is of the Toys R Us age. So, do you find it will impact you at all?
It's possible. I mean, honestly, just this past weekend, I went to him and I was like, "Hey, buddy, like, I had him, to myself for the morning." So I was just like, let's go to the store. I ended up taking him to a Barnes and Noble instead of Toys R Us, because I bought him a bunch of books. And
thank God you're one of those parents.
Yeah.
They come in the store all the time and the kid's like, "I wanna, Shopkins, Lego, whatever, here," and the parents like, "No, God damn it, you're getting a book."
Yeah, and it was actually hilarious because, like, he went nuts over the Pete the Cat section. He did get a Pete the Cat stuffed animal and then Pete the Cat books and everything. But yeah, I mean, so I went there instead of Toys R Us because basically it was closer.
Where this will impact you, Dave, is once he starts going to birthday parties and it's like 10 minutes to the birthday party and you forgot to get a present ahead of time, that's when you're going to miss Toys R Us.
Actually, the Toys R Us is not exactly convenient to my area. And I have a Walmart literally right around the corner from me. So
all I'm saying is Walmart toy sections suck.
They do, but if it's for a birthday party, I don't care. I don't care about other people's kids.
That's when you get a gift card.
It's not just the toy section.
Gift card.
If I care about the kid, I'm ordering online from Amazon beforehand.
Wow. So what else have you played, Matt?
Oh gosh, are we still on me?
We're still on.
That's pretty much it. That's really about it. I know there was something else. There was a Packer game in there somewhere, but beyond that, I don't remember what it was. Yeah, I've been working on making. This is a thing that started after Guardians of the Galaxy, the first one. Mitchell and I started making mixed CDs because he was obsessed with the mixtape from it.
Why weren't you making a mixed tape?
Because I don't have a thing to record a tape on anymore.
Yeah, seriously.
And you call yourself old school.
I'm as old school as I can get and not be
Red gone. So you don't have a ghetto blaster in your house still.
He doesn't want to be inconvenienced.
Okay, that's not okay. I take it back. I do have a device downstairs that would do it because yes, my old college shelf system is downstairs, which does have a tape deck and CD player in it. So technically, yes, I could. I choose not to. But yeah, I'm currently making a highlight CD of my college songs that came out while I was in college that I liked.
That's hilarious. I literally just did that last week. I made an Amazon playlist of 90s music, which was like, my college playlist.
I was gonna say, what's a CD?
That's the hard part because it actually has to be a CD because his car doesn't have an MP3 player in it. So nice. It has to be a CD. So the curation of this thing is brutal.
That's fantastic.
And I have all these stupid rules, like it has to be a CD or media that I physically own. I've got all kinds of stupid rules I've made for this thing just to try to figure it out.
This just sounds like an excuse for your OCDs to layer upon each other.
And your point?
No, I'm just saying.
So yeah, I've got all the CDs ripped now to start the process, and I'm working on the list. So
hashtag build the list at Gamersledge. Well, then that brings us to Dave. Dave, I actually know that you've played a game.
Dude, I've played multiple games. Thank you very much.
Wow.
We're like actually almost a gamer again. It's kind of nuts. It is nutty. I guess I can officially talk about the one game I was playing.
Yes. To wrap the rap?
No.
Stop.
Patapon?
See? You didn't need to do it.
Pancreatic cancer?
Pancreatic cancer.
Oh, God, I hate you guys because now I totally don't know. This is like, I'm being serious.
Pankapoo?
This is my second rum and coca this size, okay?
Is that how it's pronounced? Pankapoo?
I think it's Pankapoo.
Pankapoo?
Pankapoo. Oh, God, I hate you guys. I played that game.
That one game. Starts with a P.
Metroid.
What did you think of it, Dave?
Metroid.
He thinks it's Metroid. It's time to lock Dave away. He's confused.
No. Metroid. Oh, God, what's this game called? Oh, my God, these are small and I can't even read them now.
Return to Samus or Samus Returns or something like that?
Thank you. That too. The eyesight goes. Yeah, this is the stuff of the aging gamer. The cartridges are so small you can't read the lettering on them anymore. This is getting bad. Okay, so I played that game. Mark, what's the game's name? Seriously, it's
Pankapoo.
Yes, that. Actually, I wanted to love the game so much. The style is awesome. The gameplay is great. I love the art style. I love the world they create about it. It's a 2D action platformer. You level up skills, you upgrade your health, it's that kind of style. You have weapons, you actually change like complete style by like getting these armor types. So like, one armor type allows you to double jump, your regular armor, is like basically like a warrior attack armor. So you have a sword and a shield. The other one has like a bow and arrow, and you can double jump and you're more nimble. You're like a ranger. So it like changes your style completely like that. Art is great. The music is wonderful. It just has very annoying technical issues that really hamper enjoyment. And they need to work on that. If they can get that stuff out of the way, it is a really solid, enjoyable game.
So we should mention that you reviewed the PS4 version.
The PS4 version.
It is also available on Steam.
I'm actually not sure. I actually did some research on it just to see if it was like me alone that was experiencing these issues. And I noticed that anybody that's played the PS4 version of it was experiencing the same issues. So I'm not sure if it's the same thing on Steam. I can't actually speak to that. I didn't actually play the computer one, the one that's on the computer. If that's the case, if there's no technical issues on that one, get the game. It's great. If you're in the mood for a 2D platformer, it is very solid. Great world. I mean, it pained me to not be able to fully recommend that game, because I actually did. When I was enjoying it, but the only thing is, the technical issues that happened on the PS4, it would actually stutter the frame rate. So when you're actually trying to do time jumps and attacks, which this game really threw a lot of that stuff at you, like you needed to have pinpoint precision. If you're not able to do that, like if it's dropping frames, the next thing you know, you're making a jump, and next thing you know, you're 3 inches below on the screen where you think you're going to be. You're in spikes, you're right in front of an enemy. Like it doesn't work. That's game breaking behavior right there. So they need to work on that. I actually even had a full game crash on me, which I haven't experienced in a very long time on the PS4. So, and I submitted a full report and everything like that. So hopefully that can help them with what's going on. But hopefully if they can patch it, it is a very good game. But if it's not patched, like expect to have to replay a bunch of stuff, because you're going to need to restart the game often when the levels start getting really choppy and unplayable. In addition, I played Metroid: Samus Returns, the remake of Metroid 2. I got the deluxe edition that has actually the music CD of Metroid music, and also it has a really neat case with a reversible cover, so you could actually use the Game Boy Metroid 2 case if you want on the DS game. Thought that was a nice touch. The game itself was fantastic. They added a couple tweaks to the gameplay, and it is a lot of fun, and it does add a lot to it. I'm not too far into it. It has amiibo support, even on the old Metroid amiibo, so if you have that stuff, you can get a bunch of extra stuff that way. Very fun game, loving that.
Did you get the new amiibos?
I did, yeah. And the new amiibos are awesome. They have a really cool Metroid amiibo. It comes in a 2-pack. So this is really cool. It's like a crouching Samus. It's like a classic, pose, that she's made. Which is a really cool one. But the really awesome one is the actual Metroid itself. That looks like it's breaking out of a canister. So there's like a broken canister. The Metroid itself is kind of like squishy and stuff, but it looks fantastic. It's a really neat one to have. I can't remember exactly which ones give you what, but they open up a bunch of unlocks, stuff that happens like after you beat the game. There's a bunch of galleries and play modes that unlock. But additionally, especially if you have the last 2 Metroids, there's like a Zero Suit Samus, and I guess Smash Brothers Samus was the other one they had. As far as amiibos, they unlock like an extra energy tank, like an emergency energy tank, an emergency missile tank. So you get a bunch of like extra stuff that way. And the game's no slouch. I mean, it definitely doesn't hold back. It's tough. I've already messed up a couple times. You do have to have some chops as you're going through it, so it's nice that way. They changed a few things from the original. I actually like the original Metroid 2. It's on the Game Boy. It was on the Game Boy. So, what do you got? That looks cool.
I'll get to it.
I didn't know if we were supposed to be looking at that. Sorry.
No.
So, if you're a fan of Metroid, it is a classic style Metroid game. There's no reason not to get it. It's fantastic. They knocked it out of the park. It's awesome. The other game I got is actually Lego Worlds finally dropped on the Switch. So I had to pick that up out of morbid curiosity of a Minecraft kind of game.
I heard it was not terrible.
No, it's actually a lot of fun. I'm playing through adventure mode right now, where you're kind of unlocking a bunch of stuff and going through the worlds. Little bit confusing as far as what you have to do at certain points. I was actually not sure exactly how I was supposed to progress in the game. But as I started going through, I started figuring out you just do some random stuff and you get more things. So you have to do just some random exploration to actually start moving through. And I unlocked the classic space. I bought the classic space DLC they have for it, which is for a Lego fan like me is awesome because that's the classic space theme is what I grew up with. So it has all the ships and bases and everything like that I had when I was a kid to ride around and play with in this big giant level. So it's really fun. So that's not a bad game to pick up. It really works on the Switch because it's a portable, it's a console. When you hook it up to the TV, that's what I was kind of waiting for. I didn't want to just lock myself into the the PS4 version of it. Plays great, looks great. I mean, is what it is. It's not a super intensive game. It plays a lot like the Traveler's Tales game. Traveler's Tales are behind it, if I'm not mistaken. I'm trying to remember if they're the ones that actually made it. So it plays a lot like.
I don't know if they are or not.
I believe they are. Let me see if I can look that up real quick.
I'm getting it. I got it.
Okay, but it has it definitely has a familiar feel with a lot of extra stuff added to it. I mean, because there's the whole world building aspect of it.
It is.
Yes, it is developed by Traveler's Tales.
Traveler's Tales, published by Warner Brothers.
Yeah, so they know what they're doing with this kind of stuff. It's a solid game. If you're a fan of Lego video games, it's definitely not a horrible one to pick up. It's a lot of fun. I'm trying to think if there's any other games. Forma 8, I was playing that on the Switch, which is kind of like a 2D Metroid-ish, kind of game. It kind of has a remember the old pixel junk shooter?
Mm-hmm.
Anybody play that?
I did.
Kind of has that kind of vibe to it, but with a little Metroid mixed in, to the gameplay, where you're trying to figure out puzzles and how to get past certain points. You're unlocking skills and stuff.
Isn't that a Metroidvania?
Yeah, I guess you can say it's a Metroidvania game. Okay. Yeah, you could say it's a full Metroidvania game. So a lot of fun. Those kind of games are in my wheelhouse. So I'll pick up pretty much anything that's in that style.
This is the Dave game counter for the week here, which is kind of
I know, it's insanity.
You almost played a full hand's worth of games.
We do, because of course the Dark Horse game of the week was still that stupid Final Fantasy tap game, which I did play a little bit.
Did you talk about it on the podcast yet?
We did. Okay. We talked about how awful I feel even playing the damn thing.
Kate, did you try it out yet?
No, and that's why I was going to say it's pretty bad that even I have not played that game.
Yeah,
but but the thing is, I don't like tap games.
You shouldn't.
I've never played Tap Titans. I gave up a minute into the Tap Katamari game, and I love Katamari. I was just like, no. So,
but you're doing stuff. You so far surpassed me. I have not had a chance to play it for a while, so yeah.
Well, you know something, I really can't see a reason to play anymore.
No, I mean,
and it
also last week.
Like I already got past like
week?
Yeah, I know, but I really haven't touched it much this week. I've really
done
done the bare minimum. But I'm like, I blew past like level 1,000 or stage, 1,000 stages.
I'm at like 150.
Yeah, yeah.
You're welcome. I feel so proud about this.
But I really I don't see anything really happening of substance after this. So I really don't have much of a drive at this point to go on. So I'm not quite sure, if I will or not. Especially with having some high quality games to play, on real stuff. If Metroid didn't come out, maybe I'd be playing a lot more. But I just can't see myself going into it too much. And it's also sending me Facebook messages saying, "Hey, you haven't played me today," which is just needy. And that makes me not want to play you. So, we covered a full hand this week.
We did. It's amazing.
Yeah, and then also caught up on, Rick and Morty, which has been brilliant. I'm really upset because I just found out there's only like 2 episodes left.
Yeah, and this week's was not as strong as last week's, by far. Like, last week's was probably the darkest thing I've ever seen on television ever. And we talked a little bit about it in our chat room, but
yes. I agree. I agree last week's was stronger. The week prior was stronger overall.
Yeah.
Especially from like the, progression of the story standpoint. But there was some really awesome stuff that happened in the most recent one.
It was okay. I mean, it didn't have as much. I mean, I think there's something to be said of that had a half-hour build-up to the ultimate conclusion of it, whereas these were more montage segments, so you didn't get the impact of it as much. I agree, there was some interesting stuff in there, but
I just like how they get away with doing basically what would be considered a clip show with all new content.
Yeah, it is kind of funny, actually.
Like, that is one thing brilliant about the show is how much goes on off screen. They did that episode with the super team, and one of the things was just like, oh no, this is the 3rd adventure. They didn't invite them to the 2nd adventure, and you know something? We never even saw the 1st adventure, but they talked about that they were on a 1st adventure with them. There's so much that happens in the show that they don't even tell you about. So there's so what we do see is only a fraction of what actually goes on the show.
Yeah.
Which is kind of awesome, and in the way they clue you in on the little things that happen is that is one of the reasons why it makes me one of my favorite shows right now. It is just so dark and brilliant, and I'm going to be very sad when these next 2 episodes finish.
No wonder you're always behind schedule. What?
Yeah.
Did you catch that at the end?
Yeah.
That was good stuff.
Such a good show.
Did you watch or do anything else?
Sure. I mean, I'm watching stuff like the Sinner. If you heard about that, it's a Jessica Biel show.
Yes, the one where I totally know what you're talking about. Actually, surprisingly, is it good?
It's.
I'm not a huge Jessica Biel fan. I don't think she can really act her way out of a paper bag.
No. That's been good.
She's been doing good on it.
Yeah. As far as acting goes, she's been doing great. There's just some
she has to act happy with Justin Timberlake, so
Yeah, there's just some unevenness, with the show, where it just kind of has some weird stuff that I just don't see how they're going to resolve. Those parts. Where I just think they're trying to be extra shocking, but it doesn't really have anything to do with anything. So I'm hoping they get past that. But it's only 1 episode. I think they just aired the last episode. We didn't watch it yet. so they have a lot to fill in, for the end. I'm trying to think if there's anything else major.
Did you watch the Orville? It's episode 2.
Oh yeah, Orville. I've been enjoying that.
I haven't had a chance to watch it yet at all. I know you guys were very mixed on the first episode. Doing better now that a couple episodes have gone by?
Episode 2 is basically a Star Trek Light episode.
Oh, is it not past episode 2?
No, it's only on episode 2.
Oh.
So yeah, we're still very early with it. They're still establishing things.
I heard 3 is the turning point. So that's why I was thinking it was out there by now. Yeah.
It's moved to Thursday nights now, so I don't know if that starts this Thursday, as in tomorrow, or next week Thursday. I don't know.
My DVR will catch it, so I'll let you know.
Yeah, hopefully me too.
But I love the potential of the show. I love, I do like the characters on the show. So I'm really hoping for good things from it. There was some good laughs in the last episode. I enjoyed that.
The second episode was definitely better than the first episode, but it was basically Star Trek Light.
But I have no problem with that because I don't plan on watching the Star Trek shows. So
you know what I really love about that show? I love the way they warp.
Wait,
the 3 tiers and then the
don't do this to me. I hate you guys already.
What?
I haven't seen it yet. I don't know what you're talking about, and I want to.
No, I know, but it's just the way they make the ship go in the warp.
Yeah. They have call quantum drive.
Yeah, whatever they call it. But it has like a little 3-stage like boom, boom, boom thing before it goes, and it's like it's a really nice effect. I just really
he's honestly oddly satisfied by the boomps.
I am. I really am. I was just like, it's just the way it goes. It's just like there's a little line of lights. It does like a whole kit thing as it goes.
And it's blue, so there's that too.
True, that helps it. But it makes a real nice sound that just goes boom, boom, boom. I was like, man, that's nice.
Well, I've got quite a list since I've been gone for 3 weeks, so I will go through it very quickly. Watched The Kingsman again.
Oh, how was that?
I watched the first one again to prepare for this weekend when the new one launches because I'm super excited about that. I have been binge watching America's Got Talent.
What?
I didn't. We don't watch those shows. I don't watch it, but my mom came to visit.
Apparently, you do.
My mom came to visit, and so we watched a lot of it, and so now we're like, well, who won? And the finals one is this week, so we have just that one left to watch. But I think while she was here, we watched something like 8 episodes of it. So I was like, all right, because we normally catch the Golden Buzzer stuff on YouTube, and then we see who won, and that was about it. But because she wanted,
I don't even know what a golden buzzer is.
The judges can.
I don't. No. I didn't say I wanted to know.
Yeah. Another thing that I ended up watching. We actually stopped watching MasterChef right after Joe left, and my mom watched a bunch of MasterChef. So now we were watching MasterChef again, and Joe is coming back, which is crazy because they pretty much swore at each other that they would never work with each other again. So I'm pretty jazzed that Joe is returning to the show. Joe Bastianich, he was the heavy.
Awesome.
Yeah,
he was awesome.
Gordon normally plays the heavy on his show, but Gordon actually got to be the thoughtful chef in this one, and Joe was the MFer heavy that came in and slapped people down, told them their food was crap and they needed to go back to practice more. I actually love Joe, and after he left the show here because he got in a huge fight with Ramsey, and it's Ramsey's show for all intents and purposes, he actually went to Italy and became a judge on MasterChef Italy, and actually has several restaurants over in Italy now, and they're super popular. But I was really shocked to see that he is, at least for 1 week, I don't think it's permanent, but at least for 1 week he's coming back to MasterChef America. So that was super interesting. Ratings
are ratings.
Yeah. you'll sense a theme in what we've been watching. Chef's Table, we finished all 3 seasons of them, like, super quick. And let me tell you, the third season differs greatly from the first 2, because in the first 2 they set up the formula, and it's like, here are the best chefs in the world today, and here's their story. The third one is, instead of here are the best chefs in the world, here are the craziest frickin' chefs in the world that are doing like the most interesting things. And I think it's probably the best season. The first episode of the third season centers on a Buddhist monk for the entire episode. It's amazing. So
he's the guy that does like everything's like all super like just like natural, like right from the earth and everything.
Yes, she does. And yeah, that's a female. And
that was. I'm sorry. Yeah, that was.
Yeah, but it's really interesting.
It's been a while since I watched it.
Yeah, but we ran out of Chef's Table, and so now we're on to Chef's Table France. Which, if you didn't know, there is a Chef's Table France. I also watched a bunch of Iron Chef America. Anybody figuring out the trend here? And we watched Chopped for the first time. Which we
that's a good one.
It's not bad. It's all right. I'm not real in love with it, but it's okay.
Really? Yeah, I really enjoy that one.
I mean, that's what we do. The wife and I, like, whenever we watch MasterChef or whatever, we pause it and be like, all right, what would you make? So that's kind of the same thing as the concept of Chopped. It's okay.
So why don't you like it?
It's not that I don't like it. It's just like, it's not super interesting. It's not like it's big prize money or anything. It's it's $10,000, but it's not like it's life changing like the other ones. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's why I like it, because it's just more down to earth.
Yeah. Rick and Morty, I've been watching that. That's the watch pile. Played pile. First thing I want to give a shout out to is the old physical games. Dresden cooperative card game. If you get a chance to pick this up, it is ridiculously fun. The wife and I love it. You can play with 2 players. The more players that you get, it's hard to win the game, but you feel very satisfied when you do it. You play against...
Is it a deck builder? Or?
No. What it is basically you've got a bunch of decks that come with the game, and half of the decks are separated into the books, and the other half of the decks are separated into the characters. And so each person picks a character that they want to play. Like, I'll play Harry, you can play the Alpha Wolves pair, or you can play like the other mage or whatever. You pick a character, and there are objectives on the board. You need to solve cases and kill bad guys. And there are obstructions that modify the board, and then there are advantages that get you things like card draws, because you don't draw any cards in the game. And the whole goal of the game is to have solved more cases than enemies left alive at the end of the game. And so it's actually really hard to juggle the balance between doing enough to get damage to kill the enemies and solving the cases. They've balanced it really, really well. And there's 4 expansions to it. We have one of the... do we have 1 or 2? No, I think we have 1 of the expansions. And we're going to get the other 3 because it's really, really a fun game. If you get a chance to check it out, I recommend it. So there's that. Then on the digital side, played Final Fantasy Brave Exvius Tap, as Dave mentioned before. Knights of Pen and Paper 2 has been grinding a lot of time for me as well. On the console side, Happy Dungeons released last week. Been waiting for this. That's the chibi-headed dungeon crawler that you can play online with friends. They made some significant... How do I say this? Microtransaction changes between the beta and the new one. In the beta, you could buy a lot more with the in-game currency. Now it seems like you can buy a lot less with the in-game currency. So I'm still trying to figure out what that's going to mean for the end game and moving towards it. But I haven't had a whole lot of time to play that yet, and I'll explain why in a minute. I also played the Dissidia Final Fantasy closed beta. Played some with Kate, played a little bit afterwards. If you've not seen anything about this, it's a 3-on-3 PvP Smash Brothers-esque kind of thing, except that the controls are nothing like Smash Brothers. Kate, did you talk?
Like an arena fighter.
Yeah, to be honest, I did not care for it. I know, Kate, you liked it a lot. I did not. It felt like there was a very lacking of depth. It wasn't a fighter, because you only have like 3 buttons that you can use in the game, and some of it's situational based, some of it's charge based. So it wasn't a Smash Brothers. It wasn't an actual fighter, and it's something kind of in between. So I don't know. They just announced. God, why can I never remember his name from Final Fantasy 15? Noctis, thank you. They just announced Noctis for the game.
Ralph?
Yes, exactly. But yeah, I'll give it I've got it. As they do more of the betas, I'll test it out more. Played Star Trek Online, but what I spent I started playing Storm Coast Legends about 4 weeks ago again, because I had been jonesing for a CRPG. And CRPGs are the 3/4 perspective. You can press spacebar to pause. Things like Dragon Age Inquisition, or the Gold Box on PC if you're really old like me, or Neverwinter Nights, not the MMO but the actual game, Neverwinter Nights 2, Baldur's Gate, etc. Anyways, they had released a very good one a few years back called Divinity Original Sin, and right after it came another one called Pillars of Eternity. And 2 weeks ago, they released Pillars of Eternity Complete Edition on the PS4. And I said, yes, a new CRPG to play. Even though it's single player and I like to do social stuff, and Divinity lets you play online with friends, I really wanted to play a CRPG. I can tell you the Pillars of Eternity, great game. If you are looking for a fix of that on the PS4, go out and buy it, even at I think it's $49 for the complete edition. It has a couple technical, quibbles, like sometimes it's hard to highlight a specific thing on the ground, but beyond that, the game is near flawless. It's got this really interesting castle building sim tied to it as you build up your forces, and you get more party members than you can use. It almost reminds me of Suikoden, which is not a bad thing in any way, shape, or form. As you get more people than you can actually use in your party, they live at your castle, and then you'll actually get quests at the castle that you can send people out on and earn experience for the whole party and the castle itself. And then there's repair missions, and people will attack, and you can either go fight them yourself, or you can set your defensive group of people at the castle. It's actually really, really good. I highly recommend it if you like CRPGs. Pillars of Eternity Complete Edition. It's on sale now. What I didn't know, somehow, is that the game that I have been looking forward to the most forever, which is Divinity Original Sin 2, has a release date of this last Thursday. And so I was playing through Pillars going, I have to finish it! I did not finish it before Divinity came out, and now Divinity is sucking up all my time. But I will go back and finish Pillars of Eternity. I've got something like 82 hours logged into it, so I'm going to finish it, because I think I'm getting close. But Divinity Original Sin 2, by the way, like on a score of 1 to 10 for Pillars of Eternity Complete Edition on the PS4, I would probably give it a 9. It's that good. I think that it's one of those few games. You know how, Dave, like in games you get those moral choices and they always suck?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this one's like, I'll give an early example. It's like you find a bear in a cave and you defeat the bear, and you find that there's a skeleton of a person in the cave. And you have a vision when you touch the skeleton. You find out that this guy that was supposed to be a friend of his killed him. He actually shanked him in the back of the leg so he couldn't run away, and then ran out of the cave so that the bear ate him. And so then you find this guy to exact retribution for him being a crappy guy, and it turns out that this guy is having an affair with that guy's wife, but that guy was actually a dick and beat her on a daily basis. And
if the guy's dead, it's not really an affair.
Well, right, not now, but he just got back from killing the guy, basically.
Okay.
And now they're planning to run away together. They're planning to run away and go live somewhere else. And so then the moral conundrum is, do you kill both of them? Do you kill this guy? Do you let them go? Do you think that guy got his just deserves? I mean, it's actually not black and white, cut and dry. There's a lot of room for your own personal morals to come in and figure out how you influence the story. And it's not just one time when it's like that. It's like all the time. Like, I would stop and ask Lexi, I'm like, here's what happened. What should I do? And she'd be like, who comes up with this stuff?
That's so better than... Good. I'm glad you didn't run this stuff by me, because I'd just be like, how much money's involved?
No, that's pretty much how I've been managing it. Yeah, managing it.
Because really, that's what it all boils down to. It's just because you don't care about these people's lives, really.
It's funny that you say that, because Lexi is playing Divinity Original Sin 2 with me. It has... Now, this is PC only right now, but this is the interesting part. You can plug PS4 controllers in, and it is actually like a full-done port for the PS4. It works just like Diablo. You know, it's super... Like, they already have everything done, which is crazy. You just plug in PS4 controllers or Xbox One controllers and play split-screen co-op on a single computer. It's awesome. But anyways, this is her first game like this, and that's exactly what she does. She's like, oh, that guy's a jerk. Kill him. Let's kill him. Let's take all their money. Let's steal from them. I'm like, Lexi, that has ramifications. She's like, I don't care. Let's steal.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. So nice. The interesting thing is, like, we've already lost vendors and stuff because we had to kill them, but it's still funny because she's having a good time. This game is amazing. It comes with a GM mode where you can build your own adventures. I've already successfully built half of H1 Keep on the Shadowfell from Dungeons and Dragons into this system. It's absolutely amazing, and you can actually live roleplay with the players and request skill rolls from them and all that type of stuff. It's really interesting. But the story mode is amazing. Everything is voiced. And when I say everything is voiced, I mean, like, there's an ability in the game that lets you speak to animals. They voiced the animals. Like, if you don't have the ability, chickens will cluck, dogs will bark, cats will meow or whine or whatever. But if you do have the pet pal ability, then you can have full conversations with them. And it's so good that there was a time where I wandered into a field that had 5 chickens. And you have to talk to all these chickens, and I could tell the chickens apart by their voice. It's amazing. The level of detail is crazy good. The game, I have had the early access version of the game since January. They haven't really done any huge updates since then. I played through Act 1, and I thought I got most of the stuff. Now, in retrospect, I realized that I didn't see probably 75% of the content of Act 1, which I'm still working through with Lexi now. But John and I are playing together. He's got it. Daniel picked up the game. So I'm sure we're going to have some recorded shenanigans at some point. But right now, it's still too early to form an opinion. But so far, there's no technical issues. The game is ridiculously fun, and I can play it with friends. So I'm super positive on it right now. We'll see if it remains that way, but that has been my consumption since last Thursday. Any spare chance that I get, which is how much I love you guys, because I would love to be playing it right now. But I love talking to you guys more, and I haven't done so forever. So, oh wow, that was a full hour of catch up. Let's cut to the mustard. Shall we get into the news?
That's it. You've used your one pass.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Let's see if we can pull up the old Twitter feed here. You can follow along if you'd like by simply going to twitter.com/Gamersledge.
I'll be right back.
After these messages, he'll be right back. I did a much better job while I was not on the break about not double posting your stuff.
Or posting much at all.
Well, that too. Did you guys talk about the Matt Damon shrinking, downsizing thing last week?
No.
Okay.
That one we did.
Which one?
I thought we talked about the Wonder Woman director, but we didn't talk about the Japanese
roofers.
roofing.
Did you talk about JJ and Star Wars Verse?
Yeah.
Okay, I know we talked about that. Wow, how did I just end up jumping like 12 days in the feed here? Okay.
Yeah, we talked about that too.
Okay, good. We talked about JJ Verse. Okay, so we'll start there. All right. So the first story we have to discuss this week is that That Game Company's Genova Chen appeared on the Apple announcement showing off their new game Sky, which looks like Journey in the Sky, but can have up to eight players simultaneous, looks pretty, and is coming first to Apple TV. Don't worry, it is not exclusive forever to the Apple TV. It will launch there first. There's no timetable, no dates, so don't get your hopes up for anytime soon anyways, even for the Apple TV. But yes, that's going to be their next game, which I'm actually excited about. Journey was fantastic, and if they can recreate that with 8-person multiplayer coming to consoles and PC, I'll be very happy. So, Japan has created the very first cosplay roofing service. And you said you did not talk about this, right?
I'm pretty sure we didn't know.
Did you say Dave, roofing service?
Yeah, roofing service, like to replace your roof.
That's way better than what I heard.
People just stand there dressed up while other people actually do the work is what I get from that picture.
Yeah, and that is exactly the case. So
I thought you said cosplay roofie service, and I'm like, that's not a thing. That's illegal.
Yeah. Not in Japan, it's not.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I'm pretty sure that's probably still even illegal in Japan.
It is. But no, that is the weirdest part about it, is that you pay a premium for these cosplayers to come out, and they just stand there and shout encouraging things while actual roofers repair your roof. Only in Japan.
It's fantastic.
That is exactly the response I had. Like, that's fantastic.
That's great. That's great that somebody can make money doing that.
Patty Jenkins has been confirmed to come back and direct the Wonder Woman sequel. Thank God. I hope they give her as much creative control as she had over it this last time. And hopefully
I will finally be able to watch that. It just came out on Blu-ray.
Yes. So you have not watched it, so we will not say anything further.
Thank you. That's why I said that.
Something that came out of the blue last week, which I had never considered, but is actually a really interesting sci-fi solution to the world's overcrowding and overpopulation problem, is the trailer for the new film Downsizing hit, and it's about people who are offered to shrink themselves and be placed into curated communities where basically if they had $50,000 in savings, they get $12 million in savings when they get shrunk down. So they live like emperors in this small world. It doesn't look like it sucks. It looks like it's going to be an interesting movie. There was no fanfare, no notification that it was going to be released. Just kind of came out of nowhere. I think it was last Thursday or Friday when it came out. And have you guys had the chance to watch the trailer?
I have seen it. And name a bad Matt Damon movie.
Interstellar.
That wasn't bad.
Yeah, remember, Dave, you and I are in the minority on that one. You and I are in the minority on that one. Most people hated that movie.
I didn't hate it, but it was yeah.
See, that movie was far from bad.
It was far from bad, but Matt Damon's character was super poorly written. Let's be honest there. He telegraphed his stuff from the moment that they thought him out.
It was just, I mean, can you blame him? Like, I don't fault the guy for what he did in that movie.
But yeah, I'm actually excited about this movie. I think it'll be good. We'll see.
Yeah, it looks really fun. I love movies that just kind of come out of nowhere and have an interesting little idea like that. It's a little idea. See what I did there?
We hit the next two. You can skip those.
Wait, you hit the fact that Cyberpunk 2077 will be 4 times bigger than The Witcher 3?
Okay,
actually. So just go ahead and read them all anyway.
No.
Trying to save you some time, but yes, I wasn't following the Twitter feed. No, Matt didn't cry.
But
we're still trying to figure out what 4 times the size means. It's ambiguous enough that it could mean several things. Could mean 4 times the quest. It could mean 4 times the script. It could mean 4 times the file size. If it's,
I like the 4 times the file size argument that we came up with. That was probably my favorite one.
I'm pretty sure the context of the story of the interview was that it was about gameplay. The amount of gameplay.
It's vague enough though that it could play different ways.
Did you? Yeah. So you talked about that one. Okay.
There's the post, so everything from there we have not talked about.
Okay.
It's there 3 times for some reason.
It is. What?
Did we talk about
Legend of Zelda style games?
Oh yeah, this is an open source 16-bit Legend of Zelda.
Oh yes, I saw that. I got you.
Game engine.
Yes. Which is free, correct?
Yep, open source.
Yeah.
They do have a Zelda resources library that you can download, but inevitably that'll eventually get a takedown notice. But you can build your own sprite libraries and sound file libraries and stuff for it.
Nice. Probably the biggest news of the week. Go ahead, Dave.
Did we talk about the largest Lego set ever released?
Yes.
Yes, we did.
And then that was
we shamed you for that as well.
Oh yeah, we did actually talk about it on air. That's right. I forgot because Matt and I had a side conversation about that. It was extensive.
Accidentally did the thing that everybody wanted everybody to do, and then they had to remove it. So Epic accidentally, make sure to get the air quotes here, accidentally allowed Xbox and PS4 crossplay in Fortnite. Too bad it's a game that anyone would actually want to play, number one. And number two, then when somebody brought up the fact that, oh, here's a screenshot of me playing with my friend on Xbox, they then went back and said, oops, and disabled it. So once again, PS4, Sony seems to be the holdout here, saying don't do this, even though it's now physically been proven. I have to think that there was no way that this was an accident. How do you accidentally enable connectivity between two foreign platforms that currently has no predefined pipeline to tie together?
It is theoretically possible because it's Xbox to PC and PC to PS4 are crossplay. So you've got that common ground of the PC. It's possible that there was a flag in there somewhere that they didn't have turned off. And they've just built it, assuming that they're going to be able to someday do it. And somebody forgot to disable that flag when they promoted something from test to prod. And
that's a lot of assumptions.
I still think it was intentional, but
I think it was too.
There's an argument there you could make.
The next one, for some reason, it's not posting some of the pictures. Divinity Original Sin has sold over 500,000 units since its launch on Thursday in basically 3 days. It took them 3 months, I think, to hit the 500,000 unit mark with their first game. Sadly, you're not going to find a whole lot of reviews on the game It's considered an indie game, even though they're a huge indie studio. But so far, I said in here, this is quite probably the best CRPG ever made. That's not a definitive review, but so far, I think it is. Final Fantasy IX available now for the PS4 on PSN.
That just popped out all of a sudden. There it is. It's here. Hey, let's have it.
Insomniac gets a new logo that I think none of us like. Is there any of us that like it?
No, I actually don't like it.
I don't hate it, but I definitely like the old one better. I would even be okay with it if they just left the moon rather than these emblematic sliver moons, quarter moons, or whatever.
Well, see, in the black on the bar up at the top, that's okay. Like, I don't mind that so much. This is rancid. Why would anyone ever do this? It looks like Insomniac. It's not even a word anymore.
Yeah, like, I get it. Like, I understand the whole minimalist, kind of thing is what people do these days. So I'm not going to fault them on it, but it's just like, I like the moon.
I am.
And, I said it before, but they kind of made it more professional or more clean, and less whimsical, but they're a company that's kind of known for whimsy. So, If
there's one company you can get away with, it's that.
Yeah.
So, somebody was digging around the Switch backend files and discovered that there is a Nintendo emulator in every single Switch, along with the golf game from the 1980s. And I was looking at this, and I'm like, why would they have this particular golf game in there? And then I saw the art, which is prominently displayed here, and that is Mario. And he looks like a crazy human. I think this is tied to Mario Odyssey somehow.
Actually, hasn't there been a follow-up article on it that this has to do with, dang it, who is the Nintendo CEO that just passed last year?
Iwata.
Thank you. Name block. He was critically involved with this game somehow, and this was some sort of Japanese spiritual tribute that a piece of him was with every Switch, therefore blessing its existence or something like that.
That is weird, and I actually like that, if that's the case.
Yeah, that would be amazing.
I think I saw something on that today, but I didn't have any time to post stuff today, so...
Voltron Legendary Defender Season 4, ready to go. They left the show in a very precarious place, so I'm interested to see how that happens. I'm just worried that it's going to be really slow without Voltron. But we'll see.
Spoilers.
There's no spoilers.
You're talking Season 3. That's past already.
Spoilers.
We'll take an offline discussion, because I don't think I'm behind. I am not going to read this one because I went a little overboard with the Battleborn stuff. Battleborn is dead. Long live Battleborn. Basically, the devs came out at Gearbox and said after the November update, that's it. There's no more content updates. The servers will remain up, but we're all moving to focus on our... Here comes the air quotes. Super secret, unannounced game, which is 100% I stake my life on it, Borderlands 3. Man, if that game does not do good for them, does not do well for them, I worry about the longevity of that studio. Because that's pretty much they are a one-trick pony at this point. And Battleborn did not do well for them. Does anyone play Battleborn?
Nope.
And that's why it's closing down. Yay!
I actually played it. No.
I think I'm the only one of us that played it.
You didn't even play it, dude. Don't even lie.
did play it. No, I did play it. And I'm oh my god, it's a MOBA and it sucks. And I never played it again. Because that's what it is. Dave, you're an alcoholic. Did you know that? Did you know that Final Fantasy has wine?
I did not, but I'm curious as to.
It's an Efreet Rouge for $55 a bottle.
Yeah, see, that's... You know what kind of great wine you can get for not even half that price?
I will say that I think most of it goes into the packaging, because you get an Efreet package.
I get that, but it's just like, as far as like actual wine goes, like we were down in Cape May and got great stuff straight from the vineyard. Like all total $55 for like 4 bottles of great stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I'm with you. And this is this is Final Fantasy's 30th edition vintage. So
they are just insane with the stuff. I mean, there are so many Final Fantasy 15 tie-ins, so many.
No. This is not 15. This is not. Well, 15.
No, I know, but I'm just saying, Final Fantasy 15 is in everything. They've got. I get at least an email every other day about some new exclusive collector something or other that they want me to buy. I mean, they are just. Mm-hmm. When you use a term, whoring out Final Fantasy, something fierce.
And it must be working, otherwise they wouldn't keep doing it. Yeah, that's what I'm afraid of. Because I looked at this and I'm like, well, I could put it up on the shelf. And I'm like, no, what am I thinking? I don't even like wine. Why would I do this? So yeah, that's. Is there any other news topics de jour? Because I haven't even gotten a chance to look at news today.
Oh man, I'm sure something happened. Well, isn't one of the things we haven't talked about yet that's in the title, I believe, of the show?
Oh, right. Trailer. Yes. There is the Punisher trailer that I have not yet seen. That did drop today. That is what everyone is saying. It is phenomenal. Even
if the show sucks, its existence is justified by this trailer alone.
Yeah, my phone started blowing up at about 2 this afternoon, and everyone was like, "Oh my god, trailer, etc." Craziness.
And then there was a nowhere near as good trailer for the Lara Croft movie, which kind of drained any excitement I had for that movie at all.
Oh, did you guys talk about the fact that Cliffy B's new game only has like 50 concurrent players on Steam?
No, we skipped that one.
Oh yeah, so what was the name of it?
Outlaws or Lawbreakers.
Lawbreakers was Cliff Bleszinski's new Overwatch competitor that's supposed to be faster and gravity affecting stuff and all that type of stuff. Within a month after launch, it was down to 100 concurrent players on Steam, and now you're lucky if you break 50. That is not good news, especially since it was budget priced at $30 already. That's not good news for that community. I would imagine that the PlayStation numbers are even worse than Steam, but that's crazy.
I haven't heard any buzz on that. I didn't even realize it was out.
Yeah, it came out a while back.
Hey, Dave, what are the new sets that came out for Dimensions?
Oh, Dimensions, the Powerpuff Girls stuff came out. Teen Titans Go, actually, and Beetlejuice. And I believe they represent the final release for Dimensions. There probably isn't going to be any more after this.
Do you think they've been done well enough to do a Dimensions 2, or is this it?
I don't think so. I think they're done with the
Toys to Life.
Yes, that's the genre I was trying to remember. I think the Toys to Life genre is. I think they're done. There's going to be a big break taken.
There's constantly a ton of stock on shelves for Lego Dimensions wherever I go.
They're not, none of the stuff is selling. Skylanders, like in the stores I've seen, it looks like they don't even move any of the stock. We saw the Marvel, the Disney Infinity stuff, sit there on shelves. People are over it. I think Lego Dimensions probably did pretty well considering. Because let's face it, they released.
Is probably the best seller one though.
Yeah, Skylanders is probably the best seller. But I think that at least I think Lego Dimensions saved face because there was people that not only just that probably didn't even have the game that bought some of the sets because they released stuff like Knight Rider, Mr. T. Those are sets that people would buy that are just fans of Lego in general. I know I actually on Lego's website they actually the Knight Rider set was half price. I picked up an extra one just to have a desk, Hasselhoff, an extra Hasselhoff to have around.
A desk Hasselhoff.
Never have a castle in your Hoff.
Exactly.
I
have him right next to my Star-Lord. Yeah, Black Mirror, Emmy. How about that?
We finished all the Black Mirrors, and when you said desk Hasselhoff, I was thinking of the one where the people were inside the thing doing the menial tasks.
Nice.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's messed up.
Hey, how awesome is that Black Mirror got an Emmy?
That's awesome.
Two Emmys.
Yeah,
for that amazing episode. What was that called? Oh, I forget the name of the episode, but it was...
Still need to see season 3 yet.
Oh my god!
It's so good.
It's artwork.
Those are really disturbing. The first two are the ones that are huh, that's possible. I could see how that would happen, and then season 3 takes a really dark turn. Not that the others weren't dark, but this seems a lot more there's a lot more intent to mess with your head. Season 3 had the first episode that I actually was physically uncomfortable watching the entire episode, and that never happens for me.
Nice.
Because it was in my head too much, and I just did not want to deal with a reality that they were giving to me on a television set. And Dave, all I'll say is, okay, go ahead. Sorry.
What? You'll say what?
All he'll say is silent.
No, you gotta look at my little window.
Oh, that's what I missed. Nice.
Mark, since I know you're an X-Man whore, did you see the original 616 Jean Grey is getting brought back again?
No.
I was literally just having a side conversation about that with a friend of mine.
Oh my god. Well, so are the X-Men still here? Like the originals?
Yeah, they're actually the kid versions are actually here, and they're stuck here because they found out that they did not only come from back in time, they came from an alternate dimension that was undone by the events of Secret Wars. So they have nowhere to go home to.
Well, do you think we'll see a Jean Grey Cougar going after young Scott? And then have to fight young Jean?
I don't think Jean Grey will stay alive that
long. I mean, seriously, what's the point of bringing her back? I mean, she's one of those characters that, she's already so infinitely cosmically powerful, and we have 27 versions of her running around the universe. Why even do that? Why bring her back?
I assume it's got something to do with the fact that Quentin Quire is now in possession of the Phoenix Force.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is this just another ploy to prove how dumb Scott is?
Well, that Scott's dead, so that guy, that Scott's no longer here. So.
Oh, really? Finally.
Yeah.
But you know what? I actually liked that. I liked the later, once he split the team off again, for, to say no, I'm actually gonna do something about this. I liked him better than when he was just whiny bitch Scott.
So you like psychotic mass murderer Scott better than?
No, I did a really crappy thing, and I'm going to make sure it doesn't happen again, and I'm going to protect the few mutants that seem to be appearing. I liked that version of him right before he died.
Okay.
I did not like him when he was psychotic mass murderer. I have part of the Phoenix Force, and I'm going to do whatever I want, including kill Professor X, Scott Summers. No,
but that's another revelation. No time that anyone has ever been in possession of the Phoenix Force have they ever been in possession of anything more than a mere fragment of the Phoenix Force. That's now a canon thing.
All right then.
I just like how he's a complete moron.
Oh, yeah.
It was just like,
thing I've been to. Oh,
this person looks exactly like my, wife who died. This is like, and she's got superpowers too. This is uncanny. I'll marry her.
Dave made a pun. I'm just pointing it out.
Thank you.
That it was uncanny that he made an uncanny pun.
Yeah, it was astonishing.
Yeah. I'm just mad that he's actually Cable's father, and that means he actually did do something cool.
But that was with Madeline Pryor. It was technically Jean Grey, but not. Yeah, anyway.
No, I'm saying Scott was involved in that.
Well, right.
But, actually, what I am super excited about, and I think I might have communicated this to you, is this whole really dumb crossover they're doing called BC 1 billion
Avengers 1 million
Avengers BC. 1. Yeah, it's so dumb, but I so like it. It's like Odin and Starbrand Hulk. Let's talk about Starbrand Hulk. Hulk is ridiculous enough. Starbrand is ridiculous enough. Let's put two of the most powerful things impossible together to create a just unfathomably stupid character.
Or a Ghost Rider that rides a mastodon.
Yeah, no, I approve of all this message. It's so dumb that I think it's going to be really good.
Today was Firefly's birthday or anniversary, however you want to, of its first airing.
I don't know what you're talking about. That show has been dead too long.
Can't stop the signal now.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm running out of things to find. Did anybody else watch that Tomb Raider trailer? Did anybody actually like it?
No, I didn't get a chance to watch it yet.
I didn't watch it. I assumed it was a pile.
Well, it was the imagery, the stills and stuff were evoking a lot of the first, one game ago, the restart, reboot, whatever you want to call it. So, there was some hope there, but no. Yeah, no.
Does it show her being impaled by the neck over and over again? Because if not...
No, but it show her falling into a raging river and whacking her head on a branch on the way down, or like a branch on the way down. Oh, yeah, Gotham's doing that thing it said they'd never do in bringing Batman into the show.
Of course they are, because why do you watch that trash?
Talking about
it was on my feed. Sorry, I'm just anything that looks.
Matt's playing the part of Dave this podcast. What's going on?
I'm just too slow to be
we just gotta mix it up every once in a while.
Well, that's going to bring us then to the part of the show that we like best, where we thank our patrons for their patronage. If you would like to support us like they do, you can go over to patreon.com/Gamersledge. And for anybody that donates at the $5 and above level per month, we read their name out loud. So thank you, Ian. Thank you, Regina. Thank you, Bobby. Thank you. Did I say Regina? Naomi.
Yes.
Thank you, John. Thank you, Peter. And thank you to... I'm looking on my phone because somebody just donated and I did not get a chance to write it all down. But thank you for your support. And remember, if you'd like, for just $1 a month, you can get your name on every show that we do, which I've got to update our end crawl because we've had more people donate to our Patreon. That's going to bring us to final thoughts. Let's start with you, Kate. Final thoughts.
Why are you always starting with me?
That's her final thought.
That's...
Jesus. I read a great book called The Devil in the White City, and it's a nonfiction book about the serial killer H.H. Holmes, but also about the building of the Chicago World's Fair.
That's cool.
Oh, nice.
And it's a nonfiction book that's written in prose, as if it were fiction. It's really, really good.
Dave, final thoughts?
No, I think I'm
fire bad.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I said enough this week. I don't think anybody wants to hear from me anymore.
All right, final thoughts, Matt?
Yeah, no. Yeah, I actually used all the things I was going to use as final thoughts up already. Wow. I'm still weeks and weeks behind on my comic books.
Did you finish Secret Wars?
Secret Empire? No, I haven't finished Secret Empire yet. I'm still on like book 7. So I've got the whole thing. I just haven't read it.
Because I still don't know how they're going to write themselves out of this hole.
I guarantee you it's a universe reset. That's the answer to every single thing they've done for the last 20 years is universe reset.
They need to stop. I do actually have one. I can't wait for that new Blade Runner movie.
Oh, yeah. That one makes me all weird because I'm like, I want it to be good, but I'm so afraid it's not going to be.
I need to go watch the first one.
You've never? Wait.
I've never seen...
We've covered this the last time he was on the podcast.
Yeah.
And he's never...
Oh, my God. How?
It's always been on the list. I just never have gotten around to seeing it.
Dude, it's like the most influential sci-fi movie of all time. It's literally it. It is.
Oh, I have another final thought. Because this is a game that none of us will ever play.
Nice.
I watched some videos of the story mode of Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And it was a pile.
Oh, it's super pile. I could have told... Did you play the demo, Kate?
No. I didn't. I was like, I'm not going to play this. I might as well watch someone do the story mode just to see what it's like. It's like, NetherRealm has set the story mode for the fighting games so high that for the other games, it's like, fighting game story modes are really dumb.
What I want to know is who hired Todd McFarlane to come in and create the character models for all those characters.
The thing is,
no necks.
Like, when you're they don't have any necks.
Let's leave Todd out of it.
When you look at their faces, like there was a huge backlash because if you saw the early stuff, Chun-Li was ugly, and they fixed her face. But it's like, why didn't they fix anyone else's face? Because everyone else is still really ugly, and they do a lot of like in the story mode zooming in on faces.
Wait, did I say Todd McFarlane? I meant Rob Liefeld.
Yeah,
Rob
McFarlane can't draw a face to save a realistic looking face to save his life either. So
no, but Rob Liefeld.
But at least people don't have like pecs on top of their pecs.
Yeah, my first hint that this game was not going to be good was the Captain America was modeled after the Liefeld alternate Heroes Reborn.
Did you see Spider-Man in it? Spider-Man as buff as like Ryu from Street Fighter.
Seriously?
Like all the male models look like a slab of gyro meat. You know how it like no necks and it's like the flat top and then the giant. It's
even
crazy.
Strange. Yeah, but
it's
like no, and the female characters blink. The male characters don't.
No, they don't.
Like crackheads. Like, it's so when they're like zooming in on their faces, like please, Chris Redfield, please blink, please. You are super scary.
And to be honest, even as a fighting game, the characters do not have good feeling movesets. Thor does not feel like Thor should.
And the thing too is that they have voice actors of a high pedigree, but I don't know if this is just the voice acting directing. It's not good. Like everyone just sounds like super bored, and there's like, the script is bad. There's just some lines that's just like, ugh. But yeah, I was just like, oh, this is terrible.
Yep.
But a lot of people are saying it's fun to play, like fighting game people. So it's like you know, I'm happy for them, but I'll wait. I
did not find that it was fun to play. I was like, it's okay. at best.
But just like Morrigan looks awful, and her face is zoomed in. Like she's like scary, and they zoom in on her face a lot in story mode. It's just like, why didn't they fix her face?
Who?
Morrigan.
Oh, from Darkstalkers?
Darkstalkers.
Yes.
Yeah,
so Matt, did you actually have one? You were scrambling for one.
I did come up with one. Something I did do is, for some reason, somehow, some way, last week, I mentioned this last week, but the season pass for Star Wars Battlefront became free on the PSN.
Yeah, we were talking about that last week.
So I grabbed it, I downloaded all the maps, and I started playing through them. And those DLC maps, they actually did some clever things with, because you can use them in the normal modes, but there's also a story progression mode where you progress through 4 or 5 different modes for, like with the Death Star one, you have to attack Star Destroyers, and then you have to do a battle on the Death Star. There's a sequence of 4 or 5 maps for each one, and it builds kind of a mini storyline. And the one that was the most fun, and it's probably because I actually managed to not suck horribly at it, was Scarif, which is the planet from the end of Rogue One.
Scarfkarov?
Yes, exactly. And so the final mission of that one is actually the ending that we saw in the trailer, where they're running across the beach with the hard drive in their hands. That's actually what you have to do. The last mission is you have to get from one end of the island to the other end of the island with one of the 3 hard drives. And it's freaking hard to do. And it actually was completely unintentional. I wasn't talking with anybody. I was just playing mute, and set up a perfect scenario for me to grab one of them, run the opposite direction of the direction everyone else went, and I just skirted the edge of the map all the way to the end.
So did they take it away from you, or do you still have it? The
DLC.
Pass.
Oh, no, I still have it. Yeah, it's all still there. So yeah, it seems to be a legit thing. I assumed it was a bug of some type, but it seems to be legit. So if anyone wants to do that, it's actually fun, and then I'm trying to use that to get myself back in the mindset for Battlefront 2 in November. So
I will say 2 more things about Marvel versus Capcom. If you're using a team of Hulk and Chun-Li, like Hulk doesn't call people by their names because he's the Hulk, right? So he calls like Thanos Purple Man, but he calls Chun-Li Thick Girl. So they know exactly what their fans want.
Nice.
And then I didn't know I needed Ryu and Hulk as a ship until I saw that story. I was like,
oh my god. Oh boy. Well, that's going to bring us to my final thought. My final thought is play, if you have a PC and you're looking for an amazing game, get Divinity Original Sin 2. It is amazing. And I hope they have a lot of success. They're going to update the hell out of it as time goes on, so I expect Game Master Mode to actually flush out to be something even more robust than what it is now, which is still pretty amazing for a stretch goal for their Kickstarter campaign. They way over-delivered on this thing. It's amazing. And we'll end the show, as we do every week that I'm here, with a fantastic pearl of wisdom to carry you over till next week. Hey, Matt.
What?
I didn't miss this.
What's the best thing about Switzerland?
I don't know. What is the best thing about Switzerland?
I don't know, but their flag is a huge plus. Until next week, thanks for watching and game on.
I think I'm running these from now on.